And now for the Rude Boys rant.
Boys upon the scene and thing. This is a dirty immigrant.
Scotland.
Yes, I man. So what's been going on with you?
Oh, I just got back from a nice 3 weeks out west. Yeah. No, I didn't really want to come back.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, obviously, other than not seeing the dog for 3 weeks and not doing this show. Other than that, really didn't want to come back. You know? I'm telling you, driving back, I got back into town yesterday. Driving back, once I crossed that border that said "Welcome to West Virginia," man, I was like, oh.
How high up did you go?
On our highest elevation that we probably hit was, it was well over 11,000. Because one place that we went to, Monarch Pass, I think that elevation up there was around 11.5. So Sage Shavers.
Yeah.
She used to work here at MUL.
I think I know who she is. Yeah.
What's up, Sage? She kept trying to get me on, what was it, Instagram or something like that. She kept trying to take my photo to put me on Instagram. She was like, "Here, don't you want to be on Instagram?" I said, no.
Who was trying to do that?
Sage.
Oh.
So yeah, no. Still haven't been. What's up, Sage? But I mean, man. You know, it's so funny because when everybody thinks of Colorado, obviously they think of the Rocky Mountains. Man, half the state is flat. I mean, it looks like Kansas just keeps going until you get to the mountains. I mean,
So wait,
I
I gotta ask you this: was everybody you run into high or something up there?
You know, there was a shirt at this one shop in Ouray, and it said, "Dude, I think this whole town is high." But then it said Ouray elevation 7,900.
Oh, okay.
I mean, that's how high up the town is.
Yeah.
I mean, the elevation here in Huntington, I think, is only like 700 feet above sea level. And
Yeah.
Ouray is like 7,900 feet up, something like
Wow.
that. Yeah, so, and then Mount Abrams, I know you saw in some of the photos, that was that snow-capped one that's south of there. I don't know what the elevation is of that one. I'd have to check that. But I mean, obviously, I think it's got to be at least 12. You know, my dad said he had never seen that much snow on the San Juan Mountains. You know, this late in the year. 'Cause
Yeah.
in fact, one of the trails that they wanted to do on a Jeep tour, we couldn't do because they had only just barely started to clear off some of the snow up there.
Yeah.
So. I mean, that's...
What's up, Aaron Crawford? What go on, my brother? How you doing the ting?
Thanks for checking in.
Yeah.
But, so, I mean, we got to take a different Jeep tour instead. But, I mean, it's a couple of the places that we went through up there, I mean, there is still feet of snow in some spots. I mean, the one trail that we took up, I mean, they had to clear it through there. And the snow along the side was still, I think my dad said, roughly about 5 feet above the top of the Jeep.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. Got a photo of my parents standing there against the snow. It had been well over your head if you'd been standing there. But
was it cold up there?
Not really. You know, you could... the Uncompahgre River that rolls down through there, through Ouray and all that, they've got this nice walkway next to it. And it was really rolling. And, you know, a lot of water rolling through there and everything. And you could feel the cold coming off the water from the river. You could feel the cold.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, that's all snow melt. I mean, you know, it's mid-70s there. But you get next to the river and you feel like the temperature just dropped about maybe 10 degrees because you can feel the cold coming off of it.
Was the river huge?
No, it wasn't that big. No. But
Matthew Conway just joined.
Hey, what's up, Matt? Hope you're still doing good. I saw you were doing some more acting things, going on there in Cincinnati. I guess no, I think it was training stuff. Trying to. I think he said interacting with. Oh, I think that's my mom. Yeah. So, but it looked like Matt was doing some more like actor training and stuff
Yeah.
like that. How to interact with each other. Through scenes and things like that. So keep it going, Matt. But oh, man, along the trail there by the river. I don't know what plant it was or what plants, but a lot of the walk smelled like mint. And my mom said that she didn't see like the mint plant
Yeah.
there anywhere. So I was trying to look up what plants smell like mint, and unfortunately there's a bunch of them, so that really didn't help out. But I kept thinking, I was like, can I get these? How can I make my apartment just permanently smell like this?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I mean, I'd get up there by that path and just go, I mean, it just smelled so good. The air there smelled so good throughout the whole town. I mean, all of it. I mean, it's just. I come back here and it's like, man. Yeah, exactly. I woke up this morning and sneezed 10 times within the first 20 minutes I was awake. It's like Hellington said, "Welcome back, sucker."
Sneeze. You.
Oh yeah.
I swear,
But
man.
and then of course one video that I posted was from Royal Gorge. Not quite this zipline tour, but my dad and I did the zip line that goes across the gorge, which you are 1,200 feet up from the deepest point as you go across this thing. And so, okay, normal zip line that people would think of, you're strapped into this harness and you've got your hands up top or on some handlebars while you're going across. Well, to kind of get away from some of that, make it a little easier, they just put you in a chair, basically. You're just suspended in a chair. So you don't have to worry about hooking all this other stuff up. It's just you're in the chair, they strap you into the chair, and that's it. And obviously you got to sign a waiver before you go do this thing. But so you can hit speeds of up to 35 miles an hour. You're just flying across the gorge. And the kid that's up there hooking everything up, he goes, all right, so it takes about 35, 45 seconds to get across, or 6 seconds to get down. 1,200 feet. Lady behind me and my dad and Liner, she's going, no jokes when I get up there. But and then right before you go, so they open this gate, and of course now you're looking down across to where you're about to go, and you can't see the bottom of the gorge yet. And this is a very narrow gorge. But right before they give you that little push to get you going, the guy says, "Remember, you signed a waiver." I go, oh no. And you just go flying across, and you're looking down going, oh my God, please hold. And then at the end, I mean, okay, on a normal zip line, you've got something to try and stop yourself. Like the one tour that we took, you put on these really, really thick gloves.
Yeah.
And when you're coming down, if the guide gives you a signal to hit the brakes because you're coming in too fast, you take one glove and you hit the line kind of behind you a little bit and put a little pressure on, and that slows you down. I don't know if you noticed on the video, there's nothing to slow you down. Oh yeah, you come in at the end, you nail these stoppers, and depending on how fast you're going, your feet come flying way up in the air. And because a lot of your speed will also depend on your body weight. Because I mean, there were some people that we saw come across and they got to the stop and just went doink, and that was it. Then you see other people went whack, and feet way up. Both me and my dad,
man.
whack, feet went way up. So
That skin and bone is gonna be like. Pew.
no, man, you got a lot of wind resistance, so your legs might slow you down a little bit. So what do we got going on here? Oh yeah, Matt saying the training never stops, definitely, and Shelly Ball tuning in as well.
What's up, Shelly Ball?
Oh, my mom said Dad's watching as well. So hey, talking about our nice little zip line, tours and all that, and then of course with this one, the zip line tours that we took there, 9 lines. This one was just around Royal Gorge, but you didn't go over it, and that was a lot of fun too. A little bit of hiking, but you went to the next spot and then zip, down to the next one, and they've got a racing one at the end, but unfortunately, the stopper on one of the lines broke, so we couldn't race. So we had to go down one at a time. I went first, and they said, a way to pick up speed is to tuck your knees up, really, pull them in tight. So that's what I did. I was like, I just want to see how fast I could possibly go in this, because they also told you you're not going to brake yourself on this one. You know, you're not going to apply the brakes. You're just going to hit this stopper. I went boom and flew right into that one. So it was fun though. Loved it. I'd always wanted to try zip lining. So finally got to do it. And it was in Colorado, and I got to do it with my dad. So that was fun. But there was one guy in the group when we did this one that was he was a big chicken. His kids were razzing him mercilessly. You know, the daughters were just like, "Oh, Dad, you're afraid of heights." "No, I'm not." She goes, "Yeah, you are. You don't even like going up a ladder. You're afraid of heights." And I mean, he was a chicken. Every once in a while, he'd make some crack about being scared of something. My dad and I would just kind of look at each other like, "Jeez, man."
James Taylor joined.
Hey, Jamie, what's up? Haven't talked to him in a while. Jamie, hope you're doing all right, man. It's Jamie performs in a band, so
I know.
yeah, relative obscurity.
Yeah.
You know, got to go see them perform once, so yeah. Jamie, you know, every time I go down Interstate 77 south of Beckley when we're on road trips, I keep thinking of that spot where we got stuck alongside the road where when Greg's car broke down, and we were stuck there for a while, and that was on our way down to Brandon's wedding out in North Carolina, but.
Hey,
That was a fun time.
was there like a lot of big trees there? It's not like if you go to Washington, like when you went to Washington.
Oh no, well yeah, I mean there are some big ones, but there are also a lot of skinny new trees, really, essentially, because you can tell a lot of places where there was a fire, or like when we were climbing up Hardscrabble Mountain near Silver Cliff. Where the guide told us that a lot of the trees that were down had been blown down from some bad windstorms that went up there on the mountain. And but then there's other places near Ouray where you just see a whole path of trees that are just knocked down. Avalanche. That was a spot from an avalanche.
See, that's why I don't like no mountains.
Well, you go in the summer, man.
But my luck wouldn't be an avalanche; it would be a rock slide. But yeah, I would definitely like to go see something at a higher elevation.
Oh yeah.
I do think this is probably the highest in the world. I don't know. It's
Well, Huntington is definitely not the highest you've been. I'd say where you were in Kentucky was. I mean, that's got to be higher than what this is, because I mean we're down here in a floodplain.
oh, okay.
I mean, the fact that there are hills all around us, you know, I mean, yeah, we're not that high here.
But
So-
you know, for somebody from below sea level,
From
right?
below sea level, 700 feet can be, yeah, definitely. But you know, and when we went up Monarch Pass, because that's on Route 50, you come up to almost this little peak in the road, basically, and then they've got a stop off, and you can take this tram that's almost like a ski lift, but you're inside this little bubble-looking car that really only can seat about 4 people, and it'll take you all the way up to the top. And where the top is up there, I mean, the views are incredible, and they've got inside their little viewing house there, at each side, they've got something kind of drawn out to show you what you can see off in the distance, you know, what mountains are what, and especially on clear day, which was a clear day when we went up there, we were able to see all the way to Pikes Peak, which is miles away. I mean, miles away. You know, and you could tell that it was that because what they had drawn out in front of you, you're looking at it and going, okay, so that, whoa, holy cow, there it is. You know,
See,
because
people-
Pikes Peak is, I want to say, a little bit closer towards Denver, and we were way south of that. So, I mean, it's some incredible views up there, man. And there was some snow up on top of that mountain too. You know, my mom and I took a couple pictures there by the snow. I even stepped in some of it. You know, it's kind of neat. So I was like, "Yeah, I'm stepping in snow in June."
Yeah.
You know, at that or that. No, I think that was still June, but I don't think it had been quite July yet. And then obviously too, then when we took the Jeep tour and we were in Ouray, there was snow around us again. And here, this is July. We also got to see the place where, you know the 2 falls that they put with all the, is it cores? I think Coors
Yeah.
beer.
Yeah.
Yeah, we saw those. We got to see those two waterfalls that they put on the that they put with all their beers.
Man, it's,
So
people don't like take trips like they used to.
there were a lot of people there. There were a lot of Amish people there. Oh yeah, they take vacations out there all the time, man.
How much people take
Oh yeah,
vacations?
yeah they do.
What?
You haven't taken vacations, man. You haven't been to some of these places.
These all these Amish people having vacations like that. That's what I want to know. I'm actually, out in the world,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, don't worry. I mean, some of the places you want to go to, I don't know if Amish are going there because I don't know if they're hopping on planes and flying to
Yeah.
Europe or something like that, maybe. But
Ben is on.
Ben, what's up, Ben? Keep it clean. No. Uh-oh. What's Ben got to say now? He says, "You bring me back any edibles?" I think I know what you're talking about, and the answer is no.
But wait a minute. Okay. The place where you were, you said was really small.
Yeah.
Were there indigenous people there,
I mean, nearby. I don't think too far away. The Utes, mainly, they were the ones in that area. So, but
Yeah, I bet up that high up there.
I mean, there were some around, but
you didn't see too many brothers, did you?
there were a few, and I mean a few. It was a lot of white people. It was a lot of white people. But there were a few. There were a few.
They need to take like some of these kids from like the middle of New York or Detroit and take them up there, man. Let them see that stuff.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I would agree with that. I mean, it's beautiful up there.
I mean,
so.
somewhere peaceful, no cars running like crazy.
Well, and that's the thing. Okay, obviously you walk around in this town a lot, and I do too. You walk more than I do. Now, even you are obviously aware of that. Well aware of. I told you I can't talk. When you come to a street where you can cross, even though you have the right of way, nobody around here wants to give you the right of way. Even when you've got the walk sign from the light, those cars don't want to let you walk. Well, in Ouray, at each street crossing, the cars are supposed to stop for you, even if you haven't started to cross the street yet. No lights. But even if you're standing there by the crosswalk waiting to go, cars pull up and they stop. And I'm not kidding, they stop. There's hardly any cars that will not stop. I mean, there were a couple of times that even as you're standing there waiting to cross, I mean, you're even thinking, I'll let these cars go by. They'll pull up and stop and let you walk. Here in Huntington, man, you get the right of way. You better run. You better run. They are not. Drivers here are like, I don't care if you got the right of way. I gotta go. But no, I mean, these people stop and let you cross, and that's on Main Street. They'll let you cross.
Of course, you wasn't in any place with no single ladies. It was just a bunch of.
I don't know if they were or not, but I mean.
No snow bunnies on that.
I'm not gonna say anything. You're trying to get me in trouble. Oh.
Meanwhile, back here.
Yeah. The stupidity continues to flow.
It's not that. You know what, though? It's not stupidity, man. It's just the way it is anymore.
Matt said New York City drivers are nuts. They don't care. Hey, Matt, you're from down here, too. So, I mean,
wait.
Matt, how many times when you were just even walking to the rec center down here did you probably almost get hit, even though you had the right of way?
When I live in New York City drivers were very courteous.
Really?
Oh, yeah. They let you cross the street and everything.
And then they gave you the middle finger?
No, actually, they were actually really nice.
Really?
Before I went to New York to live, everybody's like, New Yorkers, they're rude.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? No, they were actually quite nice.
All right. All right.
So maybe now they all turned. So
I've got to say this for all the driving that I did, and I put over 3,000 miles on the car during this trip. Um, Basically, once I got past Kansas City, drivers tended to be a lot more courteous. Now we didn't go to Denver, so that could be different. But as far as drivers out there, even when you're going on a 2-lane road where you have all these places where you can pull out and pass somebody, even if you're doing under the speed limit, because okay, a lot of the places I'm following behind my dad driving in the motorhome, but so sometimes when you're going up the hill, you really can't exactly keep that speed limit of 65. But you know what? The people that were behind weren't tailgating me. I mean, they weren't coming right up to where you could basically, read the expression on their face, inside the
so you had
windshield.
some courteous tourists.
Yes. Well, and courteous people who live there too. Obviously, a lot of them have Colorado license plates and even Kansas license plates when you're rolling through there. And then finally, once they get up to a spot where they think they can pass you, now they move up a little bit, they zoom on around you and keep going. But nobody's honking. You're not getting middle fingers because you're not going that fast. I mean, you're not, somebody's not coming up and basically wanting to give you a NASCAR push out of the way or anything like that.
They must
here
be
in this
high,
town,
man.
Here in this town, you could be doing 10 miles over the speed limit and somebody will still come up and want to run right through your back end.
Nah, they high.
Hey, if they're high, it's keeping them as courteous drivers. That's all I got to say. Man, around here, they nothing but angry drivers out there.
You know what I mean? They smoke it up and they drive in your ear. I mean, the mountains 700 feet above. Oh, yeah.
No, 7,000 feet above.
7,000 feet above. Oh, yeah. They high. Them edibles and thing walking up there,
Man, I gotta say, though, courteous drivers.
So let me ask you that. As far as the tongue people, as you're concerned, as far as the tongue people is concerned, did you see gangsters and rednecks, or was it just people? Was it like logging type people?
Uray's kind of hard to tell because it's also, I mean, even though it's not that big, there's a lot of people there who aren't from there. They're coming from different places. I mean, you walk through the campgrounds and you see license plates from all over the place. One guy that was right next to us was from North Carolina. I think I remember seeing some from Florida there. There were some from California. I mean, so it's kind of hard to tell who's who as far as
those Florida
citizens.
People. They're dropping off alligators up there. I'm telling you.
Well, if they are, those alligators are freezing in the water. They're not gonna make it that long. That water's too damn cold for them.
Take some of that toxic alligators from Florida and put up there. They might survive.
Matt said that he remembers those times. He said, I parked near the bookstore. He said, I don't know if it's still there, but yes. No, the bookstore is gone. There's a Dunkin' Donuts and a CVS there now. He said he almost got hit a couple different times. I mean, as far as trying to cross the street here, even though we have the right of way.
See, my problem is this. It's not rudeness that makes them almost hit me. It's staring at me with their mouth open because I'm tall that makes them almost hit me around here. Guy's driving up with his mouth open wide and the car is still rolling, and I jump back and I'm like, yeah. And he went, oh, yeah. How tall are you? Well, you just almost made me 3 feet.
Yeah, almost cut you off at the knees, literally. But, I mean, there was a time I was walking down a sidewalk, trying to remember which one of these little restaurants I was near over here, but I was going from 3rd over towards 4th. And there's a truck backing its way out of the parking lot. They're just going to completely back out all the way to the street. Well, I have plenty of time for them to see me, but they don't. I mean, they came right up on me. I turned around and smacked because they had one of those cabs over the back of their pickup, and I turned around and I smacked the window on the back of the cab, and the guy nails the brakes, and he just kind of turns back and he looks at me. I was like, "What?" And he yells, "Get the out of the way!" It's like, man, I got the right of way here. Like, you're supposed to be watching out for pedestrians walking on the sidewalk. Oh yeah, I mean, a couple of times, you're trying to cross over 20th Street down here by 3rd Avenue, and I get the walk sign, and I'm even trying to get a head start. I'm like, okay, the traffic on 20th is clear. I can get a head start before this light on 3rd turns green. I'm halfway across the intersection. The light turns green on 3rd. A car comes up right behind me and just nails their horn. And all I did was just point up at the walk signal and just kept walking. And as soon as I was out of their way, I'm like,
Hey,
like, good grief,
I wonder what the high
man.
school is called up there.
I think it's just Uray High School. I think. My parents could probably correct me on that one if it's something different.
See, I'm the type
I
of
think
person when
it
I
is.
how somewhere, I want to know as much as I can about that place.
Oh yeah.
You know?
Well, we got to talk to Hal, our tour guide on the Jeep tour. I mean, he's lived there for a while, and he's from, he's spent a lot of time out in Colorado. So I mean, that was a good person to talk to about a lot of stuff up there. I mean, he knew a lot. I mean, one guy in a shop selling a lot of Native American stuff, and he is Native American. He owns a shop in Silverton, Colorado, which isn't too far south of there on the $1 Million Highway, and then he has another one in Arizona. And but it was his son's shop in Uray, but he was there watching it for him for the day. So I mean. And, my mom's asking, she goes, so what do you do in the winter? You stay at the one in Silverton? He goes, no, I go back to the one in Arizona. He's like, no, I'm not up here for the winter. But he was also talking about, too, just with some of those places buried in the mountains like that, even though you can get a whole lot of business during the summer, he said it can be more expensive to keep your shop open with the electricity and all that during the winter, because you're not going to get that much business than it would be to just close it for the winter and come back in the summer. He said it can cost me more to keep my shop open than it would be to actually be open and have people come in. Because I think my dad said maybe the population of Uray when it hits wintertime is only like 700 people or something like that. So I mean,
your parents don't like the beach, do they?
I'm not really sure about that, because I know my dad has said that if he ever goes down to the South Pacific, he's afraid he won't come back because he said so
Well, actually,
I don't know.
Your mom liked beach areas because she liked that. That Greece trip.
Yeah, but she doesn't swim. So there's that. I don't know. Am I embarrassing you guys? I don't know. But oh, we have somebody else who's talking about just the traffic stuff too. Amy Jo Hayton.
Oh.
Is that somebody you know? I take it.
Yeah.
Said people in Hurricane do not understand that people have the right of way in a crosswalk. Yeah. I think it's an Eastern U.S. thing. I swear it's an Eastern U.S. thing.
All you wouldn't make it where I'm from. There's no street lights. Cross the street at your own peril.
There's no street lights in Uray. You know how a lot of people say, "Oh, I'm from that one street light town," or something. There's no street lights in Uray.
A lot of roundabouts on the island.
No roundabouts in Uray. one paved street. I think there's maybe a second one, but it's kind of like a secondary. They kind of keep it paved. The rest of it's gravel and dirt and stuff.
So they live in kind of simple up there.
Yeah. And the road that we took on the Jeep tour, I mean, it was a lot of gravel, a lot of rock. Some of those Jeeps and what they can get over is pretty amazing. So we were in a Jeep Rubicon, and I mean, that thing can kind of just work its way over some stuff. And I mean, it's pretty amazing, because you'd see some of these paths and you go, yeah, that's meant for hiking. Nope, this Jeep's going right up that way, up and over some boulders and things like that. And oh yeah, these things are pretty amazing. Anybody who loves Jeeps, man, that place is Jeep heaven, because even on the night of the 4th of July, they have a Jeep parade just before the fireworks. They advertise anybody who has a Jeep, and I mean anybody, not just if you're a local there in town. Like say if I would have had one, if I wanted to, I could have gone up to this one place just a little bit south of town. You decorate it with all kinds of lights and whatever, and then you roll right back through town at night. It It was a little ridiculous, but it was kind of neat. But I mean, it's a Jeep heaven for somebody who loves those things.
You're doing all this stuff, and I'm back here
I'm sorry.
getting silly questions asked of me.
Oh, I'm sure you are.
You know, the usual.
Oh, Matt's got a comment from when he went to New York. He said, when I went to New York for the first time 2 years ago, said he and his friend, they had a private meeting with BMG models. On the way there, our cab driver was reckless. We were a block away from the building near Times Square, and the driver literally went over 8 miles an hour in the middle of town on a turn, and almost hit a UPS truck. And he and his buddy said, "Man, we are walking back to the hotel after this."
Yeah, New York drivers are aggressive.
City drivers in general just are, because I mean, even when I was just trying to drive through St. Louis, I mean, some of the people there are insane. You know,
Dude.
you know, this is going to sound kind of weird, but you know, every time I've been to a big city, and I've been to a lot, especially traveling with, you know, athletics and stuff, I think, man, who would want to put themselves through this? The driving and stuff and all that. And when I say that this is going to sound weird, because obviously what I'd like to do, I would probably have to live in a major city
Yeah.
to do what I want to do with broadcasting and all that. But I think I would have to try and live as kind of like what I do here, live as close to as I can where I work. Because, and I understand in a lot of cities, the more in the city you are, the more expensive it can be. But look, I know Huntington's not a major city, but damn, I don't like driving around this town. You know? I mean, I'm fine with the fact that I can walk right across the street to get to work. You know, man, whew. I don't know. I mean, some of those people are nuts that they put themselves through that every day. I mean, even just living back in Virginia, when we'd watch the news and you would see the traffic near and around D.C.
And the thing about it too, though, is I mean, when you live in New York, it's not just the traffic. I used to use the subway.
Yeah.
Man, that's just no. You're like a rat borrowing through the underground.
Well, have you
know?
seen trains and subways and stuff in Japan, in Tokyo? I mean, you look like a sardine trapped in there.
Why would I want to live like that?
Oh, my gosh. I read a National Geographic where they were talking about plans to what they need to do to update cities to kind of make it a little bit easier, as far as on stress and things like that, because the way traffic has gotten is just insane in some of these places. And some of the ideas that they had were pretty incredible. Well, I mean, you're reading this going, I wouldn't mind living in a major city, working and living in a major city if it was like this.
Yeah.
The way it is now, oh hell no, man, I don't want to.
Well, forget that, because now they're trying to have a highway between China and Europe.
Wow. That's a lot of pavement. That is a lot of pavement.
Yeah,
man, if you all think Route 50 is long because it goes from Ocean City all the way over to California. China to Europe, that's a long way.
That's a long way with a lot of money.
Yeah.
And we really don't know the weather out at sea. I mean, we probably know it, but it could be very unpredictable out there in the open.
Well, I mean, obviously, I would hope that would be something they would study, because, I mean, there's some places in this country where, they...
Driving down that highway, you know what I mean? Next thing you know, your shark bait.
Shark bait?
I'm being silly.
There's no ocean between China and Europe unless you're going a long way.
I'm being silly.
Maybe Sharknado made its way over there. Those stupid movies.
Piranhado.
What?
Piranhas. Piranhado.
Oh my god.
Anyway, but
I think you just gave somebody an idea.
Come on, Sci-Fi Channel. Is this still a Sci-Fi Channel?
Yeah, there's still one. Yeah.
I'm at a TV.
There was a Piranha movie. It was called Piranha 3D that came out. Went to go see that with Anthony Brandon and Greg. God, it was stupid.
They usually are.
Oh yeah, we knew this was gonna be dumb, but the whole 3D thing, so we kind of wanted to see that, and I ended up with a headache. after that, and yeah, it was just a dumb movie. But
So
you
as
know,
we see in politics,
I tried to ignore a lot of that when I was on
well,
vacation.
yeah.
Seemed like
One
a good
guy
idea.
decided that he wouldn't have female reporters.
Oh, I saw you post that. Well, no, not just female reporters, but not just him
And a female
and a
reporter.
female reporter.
She's got to have a
and that's it.
chaperone.
Yeah.
What
Well,
urges is he trying to taper down?
well, he's probably seeing where all of these rich white men are getting accused and going, "Well, I'm not going to let that happen to me." Like,
Seems like there's a war on women going on.
there's a war on everybody going on. What are you talking about?
The whole Rapino thing and the equal pay, man. You should see some of the comments I see.
About how they say they shouldn't get equal pay?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Oh, a lot of people know that. And usually it's men.
Oh, of course. Of course, man. Our women's national team kicks butt.
Those men are like, why should they get equal pay? They don't bring in, more money than the men. And it's like,
Are you
yeah,
kidding
they
me?
do. These guys don't even know.
More people want to go watch our women's national team than our men's
know.
national team.
I'd rather
Are you
go watch some
serious?
5-year-olds play before go watch the men's play. You know what I mean?
Oh my gosh.
I'll go to my friend's 5-year-old soccer game before I go to a men's game. I mean, look, there's a dude named Rooney. All right, Rooney's doing what Beckham did. After the skills
they get washed up in Europe. They come over here.
over here and he's beating the crap out of them. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
The thing.
They
Come
know they
on.
can still make millions well into their 30s.
Maybe into the 40s too
Oh,
up in
yeah.
there. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Because they couldn't do that back in the
Well,
over
but
in the
also
European
the
League
thing
and
too. Okay, if you are an American soccer player and you want to make it big, you're not looking at the MLS. You're looking at the Premier League and stuff. You know, it's like, man, if I'm that damn good, I want to go play over there.
There actually is some Americans playing over there now.
I know that.
You
That's
know
what I'm
what I
talking
mean?
about. If you are that good, well, okay, think about
Basketball players.
what in Major League Baseball.
Yeah.
There might be some pretty good leagues in some of the Latin American countries, but if you want to play the best, you try to come here to play in Major League Baseball. If you're in Europe playing football, American football that is, and you're thinking I want to play with the best, you're trying to figure out how to get over to this country to play. And so it's the same thing then with soccer. Obviously not trying to get over to this country to play, but if you're an American and you want to play with the best, you're trying to go over there. You're not trying to stay here.
It's amazing.
But obviously, though, for women's soccer players, yeah, you want to stay here.
It's amazing how they turn all of that political.
Oh, big time. Big time.
It's like we turn everything political anymore.
We do.
Somebody spit some chew. Oh, yeah. That's a libtard doing that, Oh, yeah. That's some conservative idiot doing that.
Yeah. Don't understand. Come on, people. Hang on. I got this one to add. I was telling you this one earlier. Missouri is a confusing state.
Yeah.
Okay. There are billboards all throughout Missouri along the interstate that are anti-abortion billboards. Okay. But then you see other billboards for the adult superstore, the Lion's Den, the adult toy store is over here. There's this strip club over here and this strip joint over
wait
here.
a minute now. Any of the strip club need male dancers because I need money quick.
Man, you said you don't even want to walk around here in shorts.
But for the
'cause of your
money,
bird legs.
7
For money,
feet.
you'll show off the bird legs.
7
guess,
feet
right?
is a lot of rain, dude. They could make that rain 7 feet down. There's a lot of money falling there.
And you are pretty good at catching. I've seen your hands. So
You know what I mean? Dancing and kissing.
I was like, those bills aren't even going to make it to the ground before you're snagging them.
dude, shoot. You know what I mean? And I'll be wearing a long leotard so that by the time I'm done, I look like I gain weight, picking up the dollar bills.
You got parachute pants on
You
now,
know
right?
what I mean? Can't touch this. Literally.
I didn't notice anything of that. I just noticed seeing the signs for strip joints. That was about it. So, and I'm thinking, okay, I just saw a sign that said, basically pro-life, and then right after that, the Lion's Den at the next exit. And obviously, people from West Virginia are going to know what the Lion's Den
But you
is
see,
because there's billboards for that place all over this state too.
Here's what it is. Man, you don't have power when it comes to abortion. They just do it anyway. But you have the power at the strip club. They have to do what you want.
You can still be a horn dog, but if you get pregnant, you better.
You know what I mean? And take a thing. Go to a different state with that bad boy. It's crazy.
It was very funny though, because you would literally see an anti-abortion billboard, and the very next one could be about something funky. All through Missouri, man. I'm driving along just going, wow, whoa, this is kind of weird.
Yeah. That's a confused population.
Kansas, much like this state,
they must be all independents or something.
Kansas has some anti-abortion billboards, but they also don't have any adult superstore billboards. So, man. Hey, as long as you pay, I guess you can put whatever you want up on one of those big things out there.
I don't know, man. This world is confusing sometimes. When you're standing in a store and you're like the only chocolate person in the mix, and somebody says to you, okay, here's a scenario.
I'll have another one for you here in a minute.
Here's a scenario. And this is no ballyhoo to anybody. Just this is a scenario.
Okay.
Dude comes through there, the place. Somebody I know, he's a doctor. 2 girls are there. One girl went, ooh, doctor, and he's good looking because he's Italian looking dude, curly hair. He's all, takes care of himself.
All right.
And she turned to the other one and says, oh, he's a doctor. And the other one go, yeah. I said, what, he ain't gangster enough for you? She said, yeah, he ain't gangster enough for me. You know what I mean? I said, I know how that feels. I've been hearing that before. She said, yeah, that's because you're too white.
He's too white, apparently.
And this wasn't a sister telling me this.
Don't you love it when white people tell you that you're not black?
I don't know which one hurts more. If it's the white people telling me this, or if it's the black people telling me this. I don't know which hurts more anymore. You know what I mean? And then, of course, there's some older white folks there. When she said that, they're like, what? Because all they see is 7'1" of chocolate. And then, you know what I mean? And then she says, it's all that proper English you speak.
Uh-huh.
I mean,
You and your
what is she expected from
you and your proper grammar, man. Shame on you.
Maybe I should talk rank grenade Kuchibuki and then they don't understand.
That would be funny.
But then, I start to think.
She's not going to understand that.
She's not the only person to tell me that. I have several people tell me that. And I want to know is, okay, if you sound proper to them, that means you're highfalutin and you sound educated.
Yeah.
Is that kind of like an insult that, to be black, you have to sound uneducated?
Well, think about this, though. For a lot of country white people, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
If you're trying to get rid of your accent or you're trying to speak proper, oh, well, you not one of us. I mean, it's... seriously. It's almost like people will take pride in the fact that they don't speak properly.
Yeah.
And that somebody will be sitting there going, what the heck did they just say?
That's all right when you're hanging out with your friends and things like that, Because if I decide to speak like I would speak back on the island, you guys wouldn't understand me. I mean, I had that issue when I first came here. Nobody understood it. It's like, what language is he speaking? It's like, it's English. So I had to start enunciating, so people could understand what I'm saying. And even today, I said,
now you're too proper. So you're white.
I said schedule the other day, and some people look at me like, what does that mean?
Really?
Yes.
I mean, I know it sounds a little different, but the first time I heard you say that, I knew what you were talking about.
They were like, schedule.
Okay, hang on. I had a sociology class here. I don't know if you knew this professor or not, Dr. Roth.
Yeah.
Dr. Roth, because he's from New York. And so I'm in this class with a whole bunch of people who are from this state here. They couldn't understand him. He's speaking English, but they couldn't understand him. I had people sitting around me going, what the heck did he just say? How do you understand him? I was like, he's speaking English.
Yeah.
There even got to be some times where he'd say something and then he'd look at me and go, "Will you translate for them?" And
you're used to that.
Huh?
You're used to that.
Well, no, this was before you and me over there. Well, are you talking about used to the
just in general?
Used to the New York speak. Well, yeah, I mean, he talks like half my family.
Yeah.
But still, it was. I'm sitting there thinking he's speaking English.
But no, I mean, going to the restaurant with me or something like that.
Yeah, well,
I have to go translate, please.
And then obviously in Gullickson, you know, somebody would come in and say something to you, like, what the heck? What did he just say? That was always the best when the black guy would say something to the black guy, and the black guy would look at the white guy and say, what did he just say? And then I would tell you, although there were a couple of the football players that came in, what did he just say? I was like, man, I got nothing.
But you know what I mean.
But honestly, you, especially living here, you know, in kind of a countrified area, you can see where it's both sides. Where it's you've got African Americans where if you're trying to speak proper, you're being too white. And then the country white people, or if you're trying to speak too proper, well, you're one of those. You're one of those high ups. You think you're better than me.
Even
type of
back
thing.
home, some people did say that if you sort of speak properly and do all of that, you know, you're trying to be a Grenada white. There was no such
Grenada white. That's pretty good.
There was no such thing, you know. I mean, there was a few yellow fellows running around.
Few yellow fellas.
And I'm not talking about Asians either. I'm just talking about light-skinned brothers. I call it light-skinned brothers.
Oh,
what?
Comment on here from Matt saying that he had that said to him throughout middle school and high school. He said it was annoying. Probably talking about the same thing with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's
I
like,
can see that. I mean, you know. Well, when I got here, this is obviously not quite on the same level, but when I got here, you know, in broadcasting, I had a lot of professors. They'd look at me and go, "Where are you from? Virginia. How do you not have an accent?" I mean, they were really, really puzzled at the fact that I could be from Virginia and not have an accent that I had to try and get rid of.
See, I get you know, the other thing I get too, and sometimes it's annoying, is women. Oh, that accent. Oh, say something.
And yet a certain individual, a male individual from this radio station years ago told you that you had to get rid of that.
I wish I could when I'm doing
Certain ones you wish you could get rid of it.
No habla inglés.
Oh, man.
But, you know, serious talk, you know. She tell me that and I'm like, wow. The other girl is like, wow. And I was like, yeah, I'm used to, I hear that all the time.
One quick funny story kind of with, okay, you saying you the only chocolate individual in the place. We were down in Memphis one year, and Coach Stanton wanted to get some stuff together because she wanted to try and do this kind of motivational thing the next day with the team. So we finally found, was it a Walmart or just a grocery store? I can't remember. But Amanda got us lost in town several times.
Thanks, Amanda.
Yeah, because she had just gotten a new GPS on her phone. So she's like, oh, I can find this for you. And just like, man.
Are you talking about Superstar?
Yeah, Superstar,
oh,
man.
Okay.
And so one time she led us to an empty parking lot that apparently was supposed to be a Walmart. But anyway, so we get to this place, and it's Coach Stanton, me, Matt Weber, Amanda, And God, who else would have been with us at that time? Randy and James, our bus driver. And so as we walk in, I was already getting late, so we didn't want to be up really, really late. So Coach Stanton said, okay, actually, that might have been Chelsea then. I think Randy was gone. Either way. So anyway, our whole group is white, all right? So as we're walking in, Coach goes, all right, let's just split up and go get all this stuff because it's late. We just want to get back. She's like, okay, you get this, you get this, you get this, you get this. Well, as we walk in, we are the only white people in the building. The only white people.
How does that feel?
I didn't care. One certain individual with us, Matt, he got a little worried. At one point he goes, should we really be walking off by ourselves here? And I said, what's the matter, white boy? Are you scared?
Well,
he just goes, shut up, shut up, shut up. I said, come on, white boy, you can walk with me.
As a labeled Uncle Tom, I'd be quite unnerved too.
Well, as we're walking around,
that was a joke, people.
Well, as we're walking around, he goes, man, don't you see everybody staring at us? I said, Matt, we are dressed head to toe in green. I said, nothing in Memphis is green.
They ain't looking at white; they're looking at green.
I'm wearing a green shirt and green pants and green shoes. You know, if anything, the people in there are probably going, what the hell are those crazy white people wearing? They look like a bunch of green beans walking around through here.
Are they trying to appropriate our disco music? Or break dancing?
You know what I'm trying to tell them? I was like, there is no sports team in Memphis that is green. I said, they're used to seeing somebody walking around head to toe in green.
So he thought it was walking while white.
Yes. He really did. He really did. He was like, oh, my God. Oh, no. I'm the only white. Oh, my God. I'm a minority in here. What do I do?
I'm walking while white.
Sorry, Matt. I had to do it to you. I don't even know if you're watching, but if you do end up seeing this, I'm sorry, Matt. I had to do it. And it's not Matt Conway, obviously.
You see, here's the thing.
But
my thing is walking into a place where everybody's significantly shorter. That's kind of scary.
Walking while tall?
Yeah. Walking while giant.
Yeah.
It's really
There's
weird.
There's very few people that can share in that with you.
Oh, man, that's what makes it really weird. Walk into a place and everybody comes up to your waist. And I've been there before. You know,
hey, I come up to your shoulder.
I know, but imagine going to South America. I would really want to go to China though and see how that really feels. You know,
maybe you can at least go meet Yao Ming there.
I want competition. I want to be the only tall person on the scene. You know what
he
I
is
mean?
taller than you too.
I know. Not better looking,
what was he,
but
about
taller.
7'6", something like that.
Yeah,
7'5", 7'6". Big dude.
But you know, if we sit back and we think about it, we all will have certain things about us that make us different. Like absolutely
something that can make us a minority somewhere.
Yeah. You know what I mean? I mean, as good looking as we are minority when we go some places. You know, we know that.
What can you say? What can you say?
You know what I mean?
That's why we're playing the Lovers Rock tonight.
That's probably on the radio, you know. We don't really want to cause problems by going on TV.
But yeah, we're doing this, man. What is this?
That's Friends, you know. They used to it. They used to. They have grown a shield from it over the years. But yeah, you know, I could say something about having big feet.
Yeah.
You know, so you could always pinpoint something about yourself.
When I came here, I didn't have an accent I had to get rid of to get on the radio, you know, and a lot of people that I was here with were trying to get rid of an accent.
I didn't either.
Even when a certain country boy told you that you needed to get rid of
Was he
your
a
accent.
country boy?
Yeah, he was from around here.
Yeah.
He had an accent he had to try and get rid of because there were occasional times it came out.
Yeah.
It didn't come out on air.
There's nothing wrong with your accent. I mean, you know, there's nothing wrong with it. It's just that, once I start, when I talk to my brother, you know, it's hard to understand us when we don't have anybody else around.
Yeah.
Because I remember my ex would go, "What are you guys saying?" Like, we talking English.
You know what's funny? Do you remember when the Blue Collar Comedy Tour came out? I remember one time my sister said she didn't find it funny because she couldn't understand them. I said, how can you not understand them? They're speaking English. She goes, I can't understand them. They're too hard to understand. She goes, I don't speak redneck. And I said, we went to school with people who sound like them. You know, it's like, I mean, we grew up in the Shenandoah Valley. We went to school with farmers, for crying out loud. We graduated with people who talk just like them. It's like, how can you say you can't understand them? She's like, I can't understand them. And then, you know, I'm sitting in sociology class here, and I've got people from West Virginia saying, how can you understand this New York fool? I'm like, he's speaking English. And then I've had times where people have asked me to translate what you have said. I've obviously had times where you've asked me to translate what somebody else has said.
Yep.
You know, it's funny. I don't know any other languages, but yet I've had to translate a lot of English before.
Yeah, there were times my son had to
translator.
translate for some people too.
Yeah.
I know I have coworkers that have to translate sometimes for customers.
Really?
Yeah. And then that when we were talking about the schedule thing, was a coworker that came up and finally said schedule.
It's like that time that we got that phone call, and when they said that they didn't like the way you were saying Tupac.
Yeah.
And you just said, I have an accent, a Caribbean accent. I'm sorry.
Only woman not to find it appealing.
Well, and apparently that one as well who thinks you're white, so, you know.
Oh, call her brethren white.
Meanwhile, you're going,
not that
what?
there's anything wrong with it.
Before we make all the white people mad.
You know
oh, you don't want to be white, huh?
I just want to be human.
Yep.
I got the good looks part done. I just want to be human now.
And you got the height.
I mean?
You got the height.
You know what I mean? I'm not an alien anymore. Since they changed the wording on the
Oh my.
But we better get back to some music here.
Yep.
I'm sorry I'm not as chipper as I usually am. I'm kind of a...
No, you're down because you got called white.
Yeah. I'm not the chocolate giant anymore.
Apparently you have to talk differently to be the chocolate giant to that girl.
I'm bean vanilla. You're not
Nothing wrong with that.
You know, you're not gonna find me near the chocolate swirls in the ice cream case anymore. You're gonna find me somewhere between banana and bean vanilla. Description written in perfect English too. You know what I mean? According to the soccer girl.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You gotta have the pinky up.
And you know what? What people thought? People thought she was is she from Colorado?
No, she did it with the pinky up. She didn't do the...
I know, but some people thought that's what she was doing anyway.
Well, of course, yeah. Well, they were probably watching it high.
Yeah.
There are some places out there where you'll see a sign where it says cannabis farm tours.
Yeah, soccer players are notorious for that too. They be blazing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's a weird combination. Soccer players are a weird combination of suburbia and hippie. You remember Lorenzo No, that's not him. Anyway, Lamas or something that played with the red hair.
Yeah. Alexei Lalas.
Yeah, Alexei Lalas. I mean, he was a combination of suburbia and hippie.
Oh, yeah. Well, because in this country, it seems like if you're going to play soccer and be good at it, you better be rich.
But
because you gotta go to all these soccer academies. You better
pretend
have money
to be a
for
hippie.
That. Well, honestly, I think a lot of people just pretend to be hippies so they can smoke weed, and that's it.
Check this out. Something else happened. I met this dude. He had dreadlocks.
We will get back
to
the music
right?
here in a minute.
He had dreadlocks and stuff, you know. So I was like, "Yo, man, you listen to reggae music?" Mm-hmm. And he looks at me and turns his nose up and goes, "I don't listen to all that jazz stuff." And I was like, "What are you doing with the hair then?"
At least he got that part. He did know at least Ja, though. You know, he did at least know that.
Well,
Yeah, I know the dreadlocks thing. That kind
yeah,
of
no. And
makes
then
it.
he went into a story about how God saved his life and stuff like that. Apparently, he's a pastor of some kind
With dreadlocks?
with dreadlocks.
Must be a pretty accepting church.
And on top of that, he turned his nose up at Rasta. What wrong with you, boy?
Well, how short was he? I'm sure he had to turn his nose up just to talk to your face.
He was, yeah. He was a little bit below average height.
That's why I like it. Every time when you say somebody's short, I always have to say, all right, define short. My height's short or shorter than me?
So
Because I have actually seen where you have called somebody short who was 6'5".
My man has got the dreadlocks and he's turning his nose up on Java.
Yeah.
And he wasn't a brother neither.
Yeah. Well, we've seen a lot of Christians who have been turning their noses up at a lot of things lately, so, you know.
Let's get back to some
Let's get back to some music. Yeah. We've been doing Lovers Rock tonight, so we've been playing artists like Charlie Wilson, D Major, Frankie Paul, Gabby Rex, Jaheim,